Hey, this is Joe at MotorBiscuit, and I'm here with a 2023 Lexus RZ. Now, if it looks vaguely familiar, it's because it shares platforms with the Toyota BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. But the RZ is actually the luxury brand's first foray into the all-electric SUV category. Now, it has plenty of power, it's comfortable. As you can see, it looks pretty futuristic, but it lacks one major thing that every EV needs. Let's take a closer look. Alright, setting out to drive in the Lexus RZ. It's very smooth, it's very quiet, and there's plenty of power. No, I'm not exaggerating. That does really push me back in the seat. 308 horsepower is definitely no joke, and especially when you have that instant electric throttle, it's great. So, otherwise, it drives very smoothly, just like you would expect out of any Lexus product. Steering feels really good. The ride feels great as well. Now, keep in mind, this is the luxury trim, so I have the bigger 20-inch wheels on here, which means that I can kind of hear some of the road imperfections a little more than I would say, the lower trim's 18-inch wheels, but it's not jarring or obtrusive or anything like that, so not too bad, but just something to note in case you're opting for the higher trim level. Now, another part that really bugs me about the higher trim level is the fact that you only get 190 miles of range. With only 190 miles of range, it's been sucking up the battery power very quickly, which means that I need to go charge this thing again. So let's go look for a charging station. So this is the one thing I didn't want to have to do, which is charge this car again. This is the third time I've charged the Lexus RZ in 6 days. Yes, that means I've been charging it every other day, which is kind of crazy, but with 190 or so miles of range, that's what you're gonna have to do when you live in an apartment like I do and you can't charge at home. But of course, for people that can charge at home, those that can afford a $64,000 car, it's probably not a big deal. But the point is, 190 miles of range just doesn't cut it. So here I am, charging it again. Checking out under the hood of the Lexus RZ, you have a dual motor setup, which Lexus calls Direct 4, because it actually gives you standard all-wheel drive. The whole configuration has a motor in between the front axles and one in the rear. Together they put out about 308 horsepower, which gives you 0 to 60 mile an hour times of about 4.6 seconds, which is pretty good. Taking a closer look at the RZ's interior, you have a digital dash display, the leather-wrapped steering wheel, that large 14-inch infotainment system that is easy to use because you just have the icons here and your nav map and everything, and then obviously you also have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Below that, you have your heated steering wheel, heated seats, and ventilated seats function. Also, the dual zone climate control, which works really well. You have a wireless phone charger, a couple of cup holders, and this dial to put it into reverse or drive. So that's pretty cool. All right, sitting here in the Lexus RZ. First thing I notice is that instead of the regular leather interior that you'll find in most Lexus cars, you get this ultra suede material on the door panels and the seats. It's actually pretty nice and soft and comfortable, and you get this really cool color scheme, which Lexus calls Thunderstorm and Macadamia. Ooh, fancy. I call it blue and white. It is actually pretty nice though. It's a little bit different. Again, in the interior, it kind of looks more like a concept car than, you know, a regular electric car, if you will, which I personally like. It really works. You got this nice wood trim, and instead of a glove box, which you don't have, you have a really big center console which opens in 2 different ways, and then you also have a nice giant 14-inch infotainment system, which I'm pretty sure the car behind you sitting at the light can see. All right, sitting in the back seat of the RZ, Again, you got this nice ultra suede material back here. Plenty of room as well. I'm about 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. And I'm sitting behind my preferred driving position. I got plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom, and even the middle seat passenger has a lot of room because there's no hump in the middle floor here, so they got plenty of leg room too. Speaking of down here, you also have 2 USB ports and a couple of heated rear seats and an AC outlet, so you can plug in some kind of household thing and blow dry your hair back here if you want to, something like that. In the Lexus RZ, instead of a standard moonroof, you get this electromagnetic sunroof, which by the push of a button, it turns opaque or clear. So you can push the button and you have no sun or sun. No sun. Sun. Yeah, it's a bit of a gimmick, but I guess it makes sense since most people don't open their moonroofs anyway. Checking out the backside of the Lexus RZ, you have a power tailgate here, which folds nicely. And opening it up, you have about 23 cubic feet of space, which is enough for a few carry-on bags or even a couple of golf bags. And you can fold the rear seats down to reveal 55 cubic feet of space for longer or larger items. So that's our look at the Lexus RZ. The question is, would I recommend it? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, if you can charge it up every night and you don't have to drive too far and you want something luxurious, then this will work for you. But if you can't do that, then there's other alternatives like the Genesis GV70, pretty much any Tesla, or even the Nissan Leaf if you want to spend half the money and get more range. Otherwise, it's actually a pretty good car. So for more on this car and plenty of others, make sure to check out MotorBiscuit.com. Be sure to follow us on the social channels down below, and thanks for watching.